Velasquez home here. Nice hittable pitch. That one's going to get through the infield from Reyes with the throw home, but it's not in time. Just a half a second late. What's good, everybody? And for today's episode, we have got a good one as we are previewing the draft for the first time, of course, taking a look at the big board. Link available in the description of every single video where you can see all of our players, but we will be going through them all today. You can see where we pick, as well as our top 5 needs, which are power bats at number 1, pitcher with a high floor, somebody that can be a little bit more MLB ready than some of our prospects at number 2. Fielding at number 3, a top tier closer at 4. Bartolo Ordonez is certainly good, but I'd maybe like a closer with a little bit more gas, and a more durable center fielder, if we could find one, would not be something I would complain about either, with Carl McIntyre's durability in the 20s. So let's start taking a look at the players here, starting with Russell Mosqueda at number 1 overall in MLB draft rank, as well as our own. Didn't scout him, but didn't feel like I need to. This is an obvious generational talent, our first year of this series now in our 4th draft. So he's going to be awesome. He's going to fit power bat. He's going to be a pretty good fielder as well, so he's going to hit needs. We have the number 1 pick in the draft, so we're picking him. I didn't feel the need to put anyone else in my round 1 tier. So as much as you like to save the drama for what's going to happen in the draft until the draft episode, we'll be picking him next episode. After that, though, it starts to get a lot more tricky here. You have Michael Dempsey, who our scouts have ranked as the 2nd best player in this entire class. But taking a look at this player card, I honestly don't quite see it. His walks per 9 are going to be in a good spot. His stamina is going to be okay, but is that the 2nd best player in this draft? He needs to be at the very high end of all of his ranges to do so. And then Manny Rios, much kind of the same here. He's ranked the number 3 prospect. And much like with Dempsey, I feel like he needs to come in at the very high end of all of his ranges for him to truly be a good prospect. But I do like him a little bit more than Dempsey, if I'm being honest. Rolando Medrano, another guy our scouts think is underrated in this draft, and this one I actually agree with. Velocity, break, and control are in good spots. Home runs per 9 are in a great spot. Now, walks per 9 being low is quite concerning, but he's going to have good stamina as well. Of the guys we've previewed thus far, I would have to say Rolando Medrano would be my favorite. I'd have their orders flipped. They're ranked 2 through 4 on our draft board. I would have Medrano at 2, Rios at 3, and then Dempsey at 4 among those pitchers. But if this is the kind of the top end of this draft after Russell Mosqueda, it seems like there's a pretty significant drop off, if we're being honest. But back to position players here with Dave Mackey. He fits our number 1 need with a power bat, absolutely. Not much of a contact hitter. His vision and discipline are not super great as well. I might even be overrating it, giving him 3 stars here. But gonna have a strong arm. Picking 2 third basemen in a row to start a draft wouldn't be ideal, but he would help us fit a need. And he might just be a case of best player available. But the guy who will actually have the second highest star rating grade in this draft for me is Ray Beasley. Now you take a look at this, and he doesn't look like he's filling many needs. His power isn't there. His fielding itself, the fielding rating is not good, but he's going to have a really good arm over in right field, which can make a difference. You know, in our athletics franchise, for the majority of it, we've had Ramon Laureano, and having a guy with just a really strong and accurate arm feels really good over in right field, and so he could fill that. And so might not have the power bats or the fielding that we're talking about on our top 5 needs list, but could you just take maybe the second best player in the draft with that second round pick and just kind of figure out fit long term later on? I think that's certainly a possibility. Now, Johnny Steen, I think it is probably the best option if we're looking for the high floor pitcher, right? A guy who has the chance to come in and already be in the 70s overall with like a B potential. You know, not going to have the A potential that maybe some of those guys that we've previewed earlier from the pitchers, but has a much better chance of being good early on. His strikeouts per 9 and stamina look to be in a really good spot. So I kind of like Johnny Steen quite a bit in this draft. And then another guy who fits kind of a similar bill, but I think is just a little bit worse here is Fernando Bruno. Only a 10-point gap between his overall and potential is a little low. So like, there's a very good chance he's a guy in the 60s overall with C potential. But there's also a chance he's a guy in the low 70s with also B potential, which is exactly what we're looking at with our number 2 need. So I wouldn't mind taking him at all. Miguel Santana is a guy we haven't really scouted much, but he is a highly ranked reliever in this draft and top 10 reliever. I'm usually fine taking those guys kind of in the 3rd round range. Joaquin Zuniga here is a guy that we've discovered. I am scouting him more here in this last week to see if he'd maybe be worth a 3rd round pick. Another potential high floor kind of pitcher in this range where maybe the highest potential is not going to be there, but he might be a little bit more MLB ready in case we end up promoting to the MLB after this season. We need some guys who can actually be not horrendous. Victor Benitez looks like a really good prospect to fill our 3rd need in fielding. Not going to have the highest potential, but contact bat with good fielding in the infield could be really good. I've been looking for a shortstop that can actually be a good defensive shortstop for a while now. But that's it for our round 3 targets. Let's now head to the guys who are kind of round 4 and later. Oh no, Gustavo Pena was our last round 3 target. I think that's a high enough ceiling that I would take him in the 3rd round. But now let's get into the round 4 plus tiers. Very small tier. I'm not really impressed with the depth of this draft class. Chad Love here, guy not ranked by MLB. Most of our guys that we like are not ranked by MLB. Just Discovery Scouts came in clutch, or else this draft would be looking really, really rough after the number 1 overall pick. I still think it has a chance to not be the best here as we're looking at Brent Fellows. These relievers, I mean, these ratings look pretty good, honestly, but I feel like the relievers always end up looking better than they are once you actually see their ratings. So I always kind of take that into account when I'm grading relief pitchers, is that they almost never are on the high end of their ratings. And then Benito Guerrero is kind of the last guy that I think is worth a look here. Velocity, control, break, and stamina, kind of the things that you can't improve. All in good spots, very low ceiling, but needs to come in at the very high end of his ratings. But if he does, that's the kind of pitcher we're looking for in a high floor guy who could be MLB ready. So not even a single prospect that I think is worthy of drafting kind of with that 5th need of the more durable center fielder, but that's fine. It's our 5th need. Power bat being our biggest need. We got a couple guys there, pitchers with high floors. Got some stuff there. Fielding, we got a prospect or 2 that can do it. Top tier closer and more durable center fielder. Our 4 and 5 needs. Probably not going to happen in this draft, but I feel pretty good that we'll at least be taking swings at the bat, pun intended, at our top 3 needs in this draft. And then, of course, starting off with the first generational prospect of the franchise. If we end up promoting to MLB at the end of this season, having somebody that can come in and already be like a decent MLB player right off the rip without much development needed is going to be huge for us not to just be horrendous. But I'd also love for him to get a year at AAA in case we don't promote. So that's this draft class. Really strong at the top, but I don't know how much depth there is. But that's all I've got for this draft preview. Let's hop into some gameplay now. So let's hop into a game now. Today's episode, we will be going against the Norfolk Tides. A little bit of weather in this one, much like we saw last game. As you can see, we're coming into this game 37-20. So despite being ranked as the 24th best team in kind of the preseason rankings, I guess, we are having quite a good year, and we're going to start this game off well with Carl McIntyre getting extra bases. A lead-off double is exactly how we want to start. Still got to bring him home, though. Jason Gill hitting number 2 today. 1-0 pitch is chopped over to second. Throw on the move will get him out, but he does advance the runner, so now we just need some sort of contact here from Alden Evans. Can't have a strikeout, but he does fall behind 0-2 here. And he's gonna do just that, striking out on the low pitch. Cannot come through for us. That brings up Alberto Rincon. Can he bring across Carl McIntyre? Chop to short. And doesn't even need to break a sweat. Alberto Rincon will be retired, so we waste the leadoff double to start this game. You gotta love it. Miguel Polanco here will be on the mound for us in this game. He's gonna start out with a ground out. Kevin Sandoval making the play there, bringing up Adam Hall. He gets a decent pitch to hit here and got a nice chunk of it, but Leandro Velasquez will be able to run it down before it touches grass. Bringing up Franmil Reyes, hit 30 home runs for us last year in our athletics franchise, but having a terrible start to year 4 as he'll go out here. And speaking of, I know this is technically the athletics turn on the channel if we're alternating. Had a video that I was going to release yesterday, but the video got kind of corrupted. I'm just starting to use OBS and a capture card, which is changing the way I'm kind of recording and editing stuff on the channel here. And apparently there's some kinks I still need to work out using that program. But this episode was recorded prior using the system that I've been using since I started the channel, so I had this one ready to go while I kind of figure out what I need to do to fix things on the OBS side. But that aside, Velasquez now in scoring position, 2 outs for Benito Vasquez. Full count pitch, he will walk. Bringing up Blake Boyer, who has been probably the early favorite to be surprise of the year here. Now up with a favorable count, 3-1. That was a beautiful pitch to hit, but he couldn't quite get enough of it. So another inning stranding a man in scoring position. We got to do a better job in these clutch situations. I feel like our batters do have pretty decent clutch ratings, just not coming through for us there. As Steven Ruiz will strike out to start the bottom of the second for the Tides. Sam Haggerty gets a nice chunk of this ball, but Jason Gill able to run it down, and so a quick 1-2-3 second for Miguel Polanco. Still just 1 hit through 2 full innings for either side. Carl McIntyre is going to strike out to lead off the third as we got the top of our order back up, hoping to do better this second time around than we did the first. But it's not looking good so far, as Alden Evans is going to ground out to third. We go down 1-2-3 top of our order. It's definitely been kind of a difference here in terms of how consistent our contact is in this season. Of course, the season's still young. We've only played a small handful of games at the AAA level, but you can definitely see that we're not quite as dominant as Miguel Polanco. Has a beautiful strikeout pitch there to end the third. And kind of the consistent getting on base that we saw so often in the AA season last season just hasn't quite translated here to AAA, despite the fact that we're still the best contact team in AAA. It just doesn't look like it's quite as distinctive an advantage as it once was, as Alberto Rincon is going to go down swinging there. Thought that was a very hittable pitch, but he was just out in front of it. And then Velasquez, he got beaned his first at bat. Now draws a walk the more traditional way this time. And Marty Dempsey's going to hit it straight to the pitcher, and he's going to ground into a double play. That's not what you like to see. Offense continues to be hard to come by for both squads here. Now, bottom of the fourth, Marty Dempsey making a nice play out on third base. He must have heard that we really like Russell Mosquera here in the draft, and we're looking to replace him next year, and now he's trying to come out here and impress. That was an impressive play, I'll give him that. Adam Hall here, he is going to be grounding out with a nice play once again in the infield. A couple of infield highlights here in the bottom of the fourth for the boys. Bringing out Franmil Reyes here, and he's going to walk on 4 pitches. Looked like Polanco just wanted to avoid potentially giving up the 2-run homer here. Not the worst of strategies, as Franmil Reyes does have a bit of power on him. But Ruiz now is going to extend the inning and put a man in scoring position. Franmil Reyes now with an opportunity to score. Will Polanco come to regret pitching around Franmil Reyes there? Full count here now for Nick Solak, looking to bring across the first run of this ball game, and he gets a base hit out into right. And we're not even going to try to get the throw home. Franmil Reyes will cross the plate, and so yeah, looking like a bit of a mistake in hindsight there, pitching around Franmil Reyes as the Norfolk Tide will take the lead. Finally, a little bit of offense here. At this point, I didn't even care that it wasn't our team. I just wanted to get something going. As maybe if we don't promote and we have another year AAA, I might be taking a look at sliders and making offense just a little bit easier to come by. But like, we got a decent variety in AA, but we're seeing a lot of low-scoring outings here at the AAA level in the episodes that we've seen thus far. But of course, still a small sample size, so I want to give it at least one full season with these sliders at AAA before I would touch them for next season. Max Wagner up to the plate for Norfolk Tide. That one is a hittable pitch. That one's deep, but caught by Jason Gill. Did not quite have enough carry. Terran Vavra is up, and he's going to get that one in through the infield, and so Warren Burner will extend here the bottom of the fifth. Kyle Stowers over 2 on the day. He's going to lift this one over to right. Velasquez is able to track it down. He's had quite a bit of work today. Or both of our corner outfielders have, really. But they've been doing a nice job. McIntyre 1 for 2 on the day. Swinging at that pitch low in the zone, but he's got a good hold of it, but not quite good enough. You've got to be kidding me, man. Thought that was a hit for sure. Gill now 0 for 2 today. He's going to be swinging at that high pitch. He's going to get that one into foul territory, but it's caught. Are you kidding me? What a play over in foul territory by the Norfolk Tide. It's been one of those days, man. Just can't get anything to go our way. What a play. Goodness. Are we going to score it all in this game with plays like that being made? Well, the answer is no, at least here in the 6th, as Alden Evans is going to ground out and end the 6th for us. Part of the order coming up for the Norfolk Tide. 2-2 pitch for Franmil Reyes is right to Polanco, and so he'll be able to get him out there. Nice reaction time from him. Steven Ruiz now up to the plate. That one is also right to Polanco, so getting a little bit of fielding practice along with the pitching in this inning, but able to retire the Tide. 1, 2, 3. Rincon, if anybody's going to start a rally here, it's going to be him, and this one is going to touch down. So we get a leadoff single here. Hopefully this can build some momentum. We can try to take this lead. Alberto Rincon, he's been kind of hit or miss in the episodes. I feel like he's striking out a lot in the episodes, but also he's gotten himself a fair bit of hits. Velasquez, though, able to avoid the double play next at bat, but not able to advance a runner into scoring position here. That's a nice play made at Schwartz. Man, oh man. We've gotten some almost in this game, but that's baseball for you. Sandoval. What can he do here, top of the 7th? This one's going to get into center field. A nicely struck ball. And that's going to keep this inning alive and put Velasquez up to second base. Now, can Vasquez bring Velasquez home here? Nice hittable pitch. That one's going to get through the infield from Reyes with the throw home, but it's not in time. Just a half a second late, and Velasquez will cross home plate. Nicely done by Benito, coming through, and finally we're able to get our man in scoring position actually across the board. Blake Boyer now has a chance to take the lead, but he's falling behind 0-2, and he's going to get struck out there. Very nicely located fastball, low in the zone. So now operating with a tie here, Vasquez can't quite make the diving play, so Nick Solak, of course, has brought the only Norfolk Tide run across the board up to this point. We'll also single here to start the bottom of the 7th. 1-2 pitch now for Sam Haggerty. That one's going to get through, and the runner will hold up at second, and so first and second base now occupied for the Tides with no one out. Full count pitch now for Austin Nola. That one is going to hit into the outfield. Felt like a pretty good pitch there, but wasn't good enough, I guess. Austin Nola, just a nice bit of contact hitting there, will give Norfolk back the lead, and it will also spell the end of the day for Miguel Polanco. Thought he pitched pretty well today. That'll bring in Diego Moya. I don't know why he's in a long relief spot. I feel like I didn't do that, and I told the CPU not to change our lineup here. His first at-bat, though, is going to bring across the third Norfolk run of the game. So now they built themselves a little bit of cushion. Are we capable of scoring 2 runs in the next 3 innings? That's a really tough thing to say, but nice strikeout there on the slider outside the zone, getting him to chase. Full count here for now for Stowers, and he will go down as well. So allowed the third run, but then struck out a couple guys in a row. So pretty solid stuff from Moya. But now it's up to our offense. Norfolk has started to put together some hits, and we need to do the same. But now with 2 outs here, full count for Alden Evans, is not looking like they're going to come through here top of the 8th. So down 2, we've got 1 more inning to play with. Things aren't looking good for our Charlotte Knights to come away with a victory. Adam Hall here is going to get a leadoff single, bottom of the 8th. Norfolk trying to build itself up just a little bit more of a lead, as we do still have some ability for a rally. I wouldn't put it past this team, despite the struggles we've had throughout this game, to come out and just 1 good inning bring us back in this game. But Diego Moya is really trying his hardest to make sure that's even harder, but Alberto Rincon is going to turn this into a double play here. Franmil Reyes gets caught out at second. That was nice heads-up play from our first baseman. Full count here, and that will be the 3rd batter Moya has walked in this inning. Definitely not his best stuff, but still has a chance here with 2 outs to come out of it without allowing a run here. Austin Nola, though, is going to fly out almost picked up a couple of runs there for the Tides for sure. Couldn't quite get it done though. Alberto Rincon. Can he start the 9th inning rally here? No, he can't. He will get it right to second base. He's caught out. And that doesn't bode well for us. If our best hitter isn't going to start the 9th inning rally, I don't know who will. Velasquez has been reaching base quite often though. Not a bad day from him. He's been quite patient. And Marty Dempsey is going to line out to center. But that's going to bring up Kevin Sandoval. He's got a power bat. Can he extend this one? Full count pitch coming up. He gets a nice hold of this one, and it's going to get through the infield. Going to center field. Velasquez is going home. But the throw is on time, and the Tides are going to win this one. What a play over there by Norfolk. And so we're going to go down 3-1. Don't mind the aggressiveness on the base bats there. We really needed to get something going, but it just wasn't our day offensively. 5 hits, 1 run with them. We stranded guys in scoring position multiple times. Norfolk made some nice defensive plays throughout the game, and we'll end up losing this one. But we would end up simulating through June here, and we're 46-33 on the season. At the top of a very competitive division. It's going to be a battle all the way through. A couple of really good teams in this AAA division. That's all I got for this episode. I'll be back soon with another, and I will see you then.